Hey everyone, today I am in Montgomery County, Pennsylvania, more specifically Ambler. And it's Saturday afternoon and just wanted to go for a walk. And I thought I would check out the Whitemarsh Memorial Park. So I made the decision to drive out here, but in a lot of ways this is sort of like a roadside find, because I was driving down Limekiln Pike maybe like 2.5 weeks ago, and I saw this place, and as you're gonna see later, there's a huge tower here. So Whitemarsh Memorial Park is a cemetery, one with some really amazing stonework. This is the entrance. This is Tony. This is pretty cool. So this is the entrance, Tony. But these are like, right? These are like little, what am I trying to say? Mausoleums. I don't think they are used as mausoleums. Now this,
yeah, I don't know what they
is
are.
really weird, guys. The door appears to be open. Look, Tony, it says heavy door, push hard. Are you allowed to go in?
I don't know, it's part way open.
Well, I don't know if I want to go in. Let's check this out. Push it. Oh my God, I feel like we'll be stuck in here.
Yeah, don't let it close. Yeah, I don't know if you want to go in there, do you?
No, I'm just gonna point my camera and look around.
Yeah, it might lock on you if you're stuck.
Oh God. Tony, don't go in.
I'm not going to go in because the door might close. Yeah, I don't know what's in there. It might be old.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird. All right, pull it closed. This one says the same thing, heavy door, push hard, but I don't think I'm going to try to get in there. Well, we have a window here so we can look in. Kind of strange, just a little table with a couple chairs. So Whitemarsh Memorial Park here in Ambler, Pennsylvania, spanning more than 160 acres. And what drew me to this place, you can probably start to see it, we're pretty far from it, but there's this really very cool tower. So we're absolutely going to be checking that out. So this park was established in the late 1920s with a very intentional design. Unlike most older cemeteries with tall headstones and ornate monuments, this park uses flat bronze markers. And the idea behind that was to create a peaceful park-like setting, one that encourages quiet reflection and blends seamlessly with the landscape. So after you enter in, as you walk up, you come upon this beautiful fountain. And it's pretty hot today. So if I get a little wet, that's probably a good thing. So Tony, what I was mentioning, there's no tall headstones in this cemetery. Yeah. So you can see, like, as I'm looking over there, and I'm just using my GoPro, but there's another fountain, and there's probably, right, there's, I think, bronze, I want to say headstones. What would you call them if they're flat? Just flat. Grave markers.
Yeah.
All right, so Tony's calling me over. Here's one of the bronze grave markers. Sergeant Albert Schmid, hero of the Guadalcanal, August 21st, 1942.
Immortalized in the film Pride of the Marines.
So Tony was saying he was immortalized in the film Pride of the Marines. Did you ever see that movie, Tony?
I don't think I have. I don't believe I have.
This is quite beautiful. So I don't think there's going to be any grave markers. Well, maybe there are as we get a little closer, but I believe the grave markers are over here and then over here. But we are walking towards a very cool tower. And as I may have mentioned earlier, I was driving down Limekiln Pike like 2 weeks ago, and I just saw this tower, and I wanted to just pull in. I didn't have my camera with me, so I figured I'm just gonna come back. And it's a beautiful late Saturday afternoon. Tony and I felt like taking a walk, and this just seemed like the perfect place to do so. And here we are. So look at these trees all lined up. Not sure what type of tree these are.
European hornbeam trees.
All right, Tony got an answer for us. What are they? European
Hornbeam trees.
So there you have it. European hornbeam trees. Yeah, this is a really
Yeah, it's very nice.
I kind of like this as far as cemeteries go. You know, like there's something cool about looking at the old headstones, but this kind of makes a nice peaceful setting. And I know some people really like to visit cemeteries because they like the history, and some people just like because they're eerie or whatever. But this is definitely a place, if you're driving around in Ambler and you just want to take a walk, it is a cemetery, but it doesn't really have that cemetery feel, if that makes sense. And you know, I'm not sure how I feel. I mean, I'm not planning on dying anytime soon, but I don't even know if I want to be buried. I'm not 100% sure, but I gotta say, this is kind of a cool place. I want to be respectful. Maybe I shouldn't say a cool place, but it's very peaceful here. So I could see if you had a loved one buried here. I don't know what I'm really trying to say, but it's just a nice, peaceful spot to visit. You can see that tower coming into view. So we're going to talk a little bit about that when we get closer. You can see that tower coming into view, and I'm going to get a little closer, and then I'm going to pull out my camera that has a zoom lens, because you probably can't see what I mean, it's I'm like stumbling over my words, but it's actually really quite beautiful. So we are now looking at what is referred to as the Tower of Chimes. And it's rising 8 stories into the sky at 174 feet high. So the tower is obviously a local landmark, but it's also a mausoleum. So it was designed by the famed architect Paul Philippe Cret. And Paul Philippe Cret also designed the Ben Franklin Bridge in Philadelphia. And as I'm looking at this, I can see it, and I know very little about architecture, but I do know the Ben Franklin Bridge. When I lived in Fishtown, I used to run over the Ben Franklin Bridge probably like 3 or 4 times a week. So, which one of these days I'm gonna do a video at the Ben Franklin Bridge. But anyway, so this tower was designed by the same architect as the Ben Franklin Bridge in Philly. This is beautiful. And it's probably not real easy to get a perspective on how massive this is. But you can see, as I'm walking over here, the road's all the way down there. But if you drive up, if you're driving along Limekiln Pike and you pass that, if you look to your right, you absolutely see this tower. And you can see that it's something special. These stairs are a little bit damaged. And this is horrible. Somebody drinking beer down here. So I don't believe we can go in here. It's locked, but I'm gonna have to do a little research, but I know this is a mausoleum, and I believe there might be different levels. Probably, well, I think we said earlier it's 8 stories. So there's probably different levels. This is interesting. So you see this red door here, which I'm not going to go in there. But we got like an antenna here, which strikes me as kind of strange. I don't know. And then here we have, you would still call this a mausoleum, right? Is that what you call this?
I think it says it's the mausoleum.
This is the mausoleum. So this looks a lot more modern, added on.
Yeah, there's some things in that tower.
Yes, I believe there are. Were you reading up on it?
Well, I can see it.
What do you mean there's things in that tower?
People buried.
Yeah. Well, this tower's 8 stories high, so
Whoa.
Possibly there are caskets in there too, right?
I don't know.
I don't know either. So I just did a quick look up. This tower was built in 1936. 8 stories, Tony. Isn't it interesting to see how the windows are open?
Yeah.
Just walking around and trying to get each side of the tower on video. You can see this park is huge. I mean, there's the tower. And the park goes all the way over in this direction. All the way over in that direction. What were you saying, Tony?
Really dark.
Dark what, inside? Yeah. Yeah, that, I mean, those lions, right? I guess they're lions, right? They're really kind of beautiful. I think it's very cool.
Good.
Definitely gonna have to get my other camera out because I want you to see that statue up there as well. So I do have my other camera out now, so I'm gonna try to zoom in just to get maybe a better look. Hopefully you can see that. There's a pretty cool statue, which is actually hard for me to see from down here. Now I want to see if I can get the top of the tower on video. What does it say? What does it say on that red door? Tower? Oh, Tower of Chimes.
Really dark.
If you look to the right, you can kind of see a stairway. This set of bushes is beautiful. All right, so there's Tony walking, and we are headed over to the 160-year-old chapel. But I do want to check out this pond on my way over. Tony was just saying he saw a lot of geese in this area, so we're probably stepping in. Goose poop! That is just a beautiful picture right there. Alright, so we are headed over to the chapel. Alright, so there you have it. That is the Wayside Chapel. And I want to see if I can find a year on it. But from what I read online, it's 160 years old. And it predates the cemetery. I believe this was farmland, so I'm going to do a little research on that. But I believe it might have been farmland that was donated. Wayside Chapel at Whitemarsh Memorial Park. So the part we were looking at in the front appears to be 160 years old, but I'm not so sure about this stonework. This might be added on. Do you think this is original?
I think this was added on. I think the wooden part's the church. And there it looks like a church up there, right at the corner.
You think, you believe this was added on?
I think
I think so too.
I think so.
Oh, look at this, Tony. There's a little courtyard.
I saw that. Nope.
You know, I said this was added on, but I'm not so sure. This looks old. So I'm assuming you can use this chapel for services. It's probably owned by the cemetery at this point. What are you pointing at?
It says it was the Horsham Public School.
This was?
1860, rebuilt in 1934.
This?
Go around the corner.
Where do you see it? Go around the corner, Jen. Oh, wow. So this was Horsham Public School. And it says 1860, rebuilt in 1934.
Yeah.
So, this was built in 1860. But now that is the chapel over there though, right? Or do you think the whole thing was the chapel?
They probably made the part that was like the classroom into the chapel, apparently.
So now I don't believe anything was added on. It was probably all built in 1860, which is how many years is that?
That's 60 or 165.
165 years. I said 160 before. So it was a public school that they then, when this became a cemetery, they turned it into a chapel.
Yeah, it's been rebuilt.
Yeah, very cool though, right? I get so corny when I see things like this. So as I'm just in my mind, I'm picturing all the children filtering in back in 1860.
But it's been rebuilt 90 years ago already.
Rebuilt in 1934. Okay, so probably, Tony, this stonework's 1934. Maybe. I don't know. We don't know.
I don't know. That looks like old window, I guess.
Yeah, probably when they say rebuilt, refurbished.
It was probably dilapidated. The roof might have been gone. Who knows?
The Horsham Public School built in 1860. That's before the Civil War, Tony.
Yeah.
And this, I believe, was all farmland back then.
I would.
Yeah, I would imagine so. As we're walking out, we're seeing what appeared to be, and I don't know. I believe they are cherry trees.
They might be, Jen, because they probably bloom real nice in the spring with the white flowers.
Tony's saying they most likely are, and they probably bloom really nice
Cherry
in the
blossom.
spring with the cherry blossoms. I'm loving this tree. I just think it's so cool the way there's like, I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but it's almost like, I'll leave it up to your interpretation, but this is certainly an old tree. And it's beautiful. And with that, I think I'm going to end my video here. Thank you so much for joining me. And if you could give the video a like, it always helps, and I definitely appreciate it. And if you haven't already subscribed, please consider doing so. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you so much, and you have a wonderful day. Take care, everybody.